Hi, welcome to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Mariandrea, and this is day 2 of the Poetry Readathon. The Poetry Readathon is hosted by Charlie Brooke Reads and Charles Heathcote. I'll link their channels in the description box. And today I will be reading a poem to fulfill the prompt for Sonnet. And the poetry collection that I will be reading from is Playlist for the Apocalypse by Rita Dove. Rita Dove is a Pulitzer Prize winner. This is the only collection I own and have read of theirs. This does have a little faux sticker that says this is the New York Times Book Reviews, 100 Notable Books from 2021. So I first heard of this from the podcast Bookworm, and I really liked the interview that they did with Rita Dove. So I immediately, like after listening to that episode, that podcast, I went to my local Barnes and Noble and got myself a copy. Rita Dove is a Pulitzer Prize winner and former U.S. Poet Laureate, is the only poet honored with both the National Humanities Medal and the National Medal of Arts, a recent recipient of the Wallace Stevens Award, the American Academy of Arts and Letters Gold Medal for Poetry, and the Ruth Lilly Poetry Prize for a Lifetime Achievement. She is professor of creative writing at the University of Virginia. I find her writing to be very engaging and creative, and like the imagery is fantastic. So the poem I'll be reading is from one of it's from this collection, but I'll explain what I'm trying to say. So in the contents, there's different sections, and I love this about this collection. So like each section is like a theme. So there's like Time's Arrow, After Egypt, Spring Cricket, A Standing Witness, Eight Angry Odes, and Little Book of Woe. So today, the poem I'll be reading is from the section Eight Angry Odes. I'm not feeling particularly angry today, so I'll do my best to serve this poem, this poetry reading justice. I'll try. And so let's see how I do. Okay, page 86. The title of the poem is A Sonnet for the Sonnet. You have occupied the rose-garlanded throne for so long. No one remembers a time when love wasn't a portable feast. Metaphorical conceits sunk to the gimpy tread of a heartbeat. That true rhyme equals contentment, a neaten song. We've learned to yearn for? My dumpling, that is, entirely your doing. A glittering fait accompli, we've been duped into trying to make reality complete, with lute plucked warbling under a moon-splashed lattice. Let's face it, love is messy, or boring, or hurts like hell, and then is gone. Even when we're satisfied, beyond the garden gate, the rest awaits, all those years you never thought to mention. No matter how the cake is sliced, some choice bits break off. It's nearly wide enough for two. The sugar-coated ledge. We clamber on for one more lick of the jagged edge. And that was A Sonnet for the Sonnet by Rita Dove. And that phrase, a moon-splashed lattice, has been on my mind all day. Just the imagery that evokes for me. It's beautiful. I also want to read the opening to this collection, because I think it's funny. If you are a poetry nerd like me, or just a literary nerd in general, I think you may appreciate it. This is titled Prose in a Small Space. It's supposed to be prose if it runs on and on, isn't it? All those words, too many to fall into rank and file. Stumbling bare-ass drunk onto the field, reporting for duty, yes sir, spilling out as shamelessly as a glut from a mega-billion-dollar chemical facility, just the amount of glittering effluvium it takes to transport a little girl across a room Beige carpet thick under her Oxford's curtains blousy with spring. Is that the scent of daffodils drifting in? Daffodils don't smell, but prose doesn't care. Prose likes to hear itself talk. Prose is development and denouement, anticipation hovering near the canopy, lust rampant in the antipasto, e.g., a silver fork fingered sadly as a heroine crumples a linen napkin in her lap to keep from crying out at the sight of Lord Campion's regal brow inclined tenderly toward the wealthy young widow. Prose applauds such syntactical dalliances. Then is it poetry that's confined? Trembling along its axis, a flagpole come alive, in high wind, flapping its radiant sleeve for attention. Over here, it's me! While the wide spaces, open parentheses, airfield, early morning silence before the school bell, close parentheses, shape themselves around that one bright seashore, dot, dot, dot. And if that's so, what do we have here? A dream or three paragraphs? We have white space too. Is this music? As for all the words left out, banging at the gates, dot, 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 we could let them in, but where would we go with our orders, our stuttering pride? And that is Prose in a Small Space by Rita Dove. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining me for this Poetry Readathon. Let me know what sonnet you've read or you're planning to read for this week, and I will see you again soon, hopefully tomorrow. Hasta la próxima. Prose in a small space. It's supposed to be prose if it runs on and on, isn't it? All those words too many to fall into rank and file, stumbling bare ass drunk onto the field, reporting for duty, yes sir, spilling out as shamelessly as the glut from a mega billion-dollar chemical facility. Just the amount of glittering effluvium. What does that mean? Effluvium, spelled EFFLUVIUM. Let's see. Merriam-Webster. Effluvium. Effluvium is a noun. Definition: an invisible emanation. Okay. Can't annotate and hold my phone. An invisible emanation. And then what else? Second definition is, okay, an invisible emanation, especially an offensive exhalation of smell. Definition number 2 is a byproduct, especially in the form of waste. To a byproduct, especially in the form of waste. This feels very appropriate for Earth Day. Okay, just the amount of glittering effluvium it takes to transport a little girl across a room, beige carpet thick under her Oxfords. Now I get that better. Curtains blowsy. Well, let me see. How do you pronounce effluvium? Am I saying this correctly?
Effluvia.
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 Effluvia. And then this other word, I think it's blowsy. Is it? Or blousy? Blousy.
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 Blousy. Okay, so blousy. Blowzy. It's an adjective, and it means having a sloppy or unkempt appearance or aspect. Okay. Appearance also means being coarse and ruddy of complexion. Being coarse and ruddy. Okay. Beige carpet thick under her Oxfords, curtains blousy with spring. Is that the scent of daffodils drifting in? Daffodils don't smell, but Prose doesn't care. Prose likes to hear itself talk. Prose's development and denouement. I want to make sure I'm saying that correctly. Denouement. Am I saying that?
Denouement.
No, denouement. It's French.
Denouement.
Denouement.